Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Taurus. If Taurus is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's take a look. Oh my goodness, we have a lot of scattering, a lot of little different things happening here. And tonight our card is the Prince of Wands. And so this is a this is an energy, isn't it? Yeah, very energetic, youthful, often charming, beautiful, good with words. But oh, that hidden temper, that short fuse. It seems to be a theme in my life and in my readings lately. It's I feel like I've just encountered so many situations or heard of, been, talking with people, reading things. A lot of anger coming from people who otherwise seemed like let me restate this. People who have been experiencing people in their lives who they thought were pretty chill, pretty collected, pretty well-cultivated person, and then they just show themselves to be so very angry. And I laugh just because, that it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable thing to experience somebody who, is beautiful, enchanting, enjoyable, and they turn, show themselves. And I will say that we all have the capacity to be many things. So our anger is not our only thing, not the most important thing, unless you make it that, right? Unless you let it go completely out of control. And then what else can people remember about you? So, that being said, I want to look at this. We have a person kind of gazing up, it looks like, up there at the beautiful sky. We look like, hopefully not looking at the sun. I think this is the moon. And so we are beneath these night skies. Those nocturnal things that come creeping out. We have a question mark. We have a snail. We have an apple. And so, as I'm looking at this, it seems like maybe something health related that you're pondering. Maybe you've had some kind of change in how you feel. Maybe with doctor's thing coming up. I'm definitely that person when I go for my yearly checkup. Every little thing, every little ache. I think this is going to be the year that I find something not good. But, we also know ourselves. When we start feeling different, it's so important to listen to our bodies. So, I feel, there's, with the apple, definitely moving towards some kind of, being conscious of how you're feeling, Question mark, obviously, how you're feeling. With the snail, I really feel like it maybe is stress related, sleep related. So slowing down, giving yourself the rest you need, the nutrients you need, the fluids, all of that. You know, obviously still please, if you are not feeling good, go to the doctor. You have to. You can't listen to people online doing readings for your health. Please don't. None of us are professionals. So, you know, go see somebody who knows what they're talking about as far as, you know, your health. And it's, you know, not necessarily a bad thing to be focused on these health-related things. I know, you know, it can be scary, and I'm laughing just because I feel like I'm always going through my cycles of, all right, this is my month. I'm gonna get it going, and you know, I've been trying to do better with everything. Listening to myself, sleeping a little bit more than 5 hours a night. Trying to get everything together and aligned in the way that's most beneficial. Okay, so I want to turn this way. We have an eye. Okay, so I feel like, well, it's the Watcher. Okay, so I feel like there's been somebody who you are emotionally attached to in some way. Maybe somebody, an ex or a previous friend who has really kept their eye on you. This is very detailed eye. So I feel like they're just, you got kind of a lurker. I feel like this maybe is that Prince of Wand energy really coming through. This is somebody who you have quite a fondness for even still. But they just seem to be somebody who can become a little unhinged, okay? It seems like they definitely get into a mode of destruction. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. They seem like they're pretty destructive. And I see we have an animal here who's kind of leaned down. You can see the horns. They're in a posture of kind of ramming each other, you know, coming together with their getting locked into it. And so, you know, I don't think that this is even on your mind necessarily. I think that, you know, you're just living your life. You're thinking, oh, I haven't been feeling that great. You know, better get to the doctor. I don't know what's going on. You know, that's kind of more where your mind's at recently. And here we have somebody who is getting into your orbit a little bit more. Okay, and I don't know if, you know, I don't know what's been going on with you. If maybe you have a new relationship, or maybe they, you know, sometimes these people, they go through like cycles of wanting to come back into your life. I don't know if you've ever noticed this with any of, you know, your old friends or whatever. It's like certain seasons people get real nostalgic, or they just, something sets them off where they just think that, okay, now's the 15th time I'm gonna try to re-enter this person's life. And it's like, dude, no, you know. So I think that they're not even on your radar as far as like reconciliation or whatever, but you have a fondness for them, but you know better. 100% not the person for you. I can tell you that. I'm sorry. You know, I don't usually like telling people, well, I would never tell you who not to talk to, of course, but I feel like this is not a good person for you. Okay, so we also have a little bird. really interesting. It feels like somebody in your life, and I don't think that they're past. I think there's somebody who is still like maybe a parent or a grandparent. Like they met this person. I feel like this person has met your family. And this is like, you know, we all have one or two people from our past that like the family's like, no, absolutely no. This is like your person, because they watched you guys go through whatever happened, okay? And I think it probably was not easy for you. Although you're a Taurus, you take care of yourself. You're, you know, not somebody, you're not going to get pushed around, okay? But this person was just a nightmare, I think, you know, and your family member does not, you know, I feel like there's a conscious, like, they're like praying, you know, asking the heavens to keep the boundaries up, solidified. Don't sink back into it. I look over here and I see this in the emotional zone, which is on this incline here, and it looks like a person who's kind of dancing. I feel like once you kind of moved into the more recent cycles of your life, you've been so much happier. This isn't just because maybe you have a different relationship or anything like that, but you've done a lot for yourself. You've worked very hard to heal. You've worked hard to find self-confidence. I think this person really made you feel not that great, and it took time to get it back together. And I feel that you've gotten to that place. You know, I see this, it looks like a flag that's kind of right here that's waving, and then I see a number 1 right here. So I just feel like you've won the race, right? You've really moved into like this part of your life where you're really succeeding. You're really the most important thing in your life, unless you have kids, of course. But you really have focused on your wellness, mind, body, and soul. So when this this dark cloud, this beautiful dark cloud starts showing up, you know, trying to get their tentacles back into the mix, you gotta shut the door. You have to shut the door. And this one looks like an M and an E. So I just see a big me. And I think that, you know, it's really still, you're just, stay focused on what you're doing for yourself. I just can't see any other way here. I also see a bison and then a person kind of standing, either kind of, you know, maybe on top. But I feel like when you let certain kinds of people, and I don't think this is the only person who's ever kind of treated you this way. I think that maybe you've had a friend or two, non-romantic, but a friend or two who you really carried a lot of their BS. You put up with it, and it felt like you were being a good friend because you're trying to be understanding, empathetic. But I feel like as a Taurus, you are somebody who really is into like different stuff. You're into whatever you're into. You don't necessarily care what other people think about that. Your heart leads you. And so when you have people who are controlling, who have a tendency towards getting angry when they don't have a sense of control, when you will not bend to their whim or will. And I feel like they would kind of almost try to make you feel bad about who you are, the things you liked, how you did things, how you know, whatever it was, just nitpicky stuff. You know, backhanded kind of comments about things, you know, just purposely like sabotaging you, like in a weird way. Like I was talking to somebody about this the other day, like, when people like purposely like will post the worst pictures of you, like where they look good, but like they look terrible. I know it's a little silly thing, but it's probably pretty vain. But, you know, there are people that do that, like on purpose. And it's pretty hard to imagine wanting to be somebody that would make somebody else look bad for your own gain. And so, you know, just I think a little like kind of weird behaviors like this. And I think that you have really evolved out of that type of toxic relationships, and really just won't put up with it anymore. But at the same time, which is weird, we all have these things, like different things that we have to like really work on in the dynamics that we're kind of used to and attracted to. But like it almost feels like sometimes when we don't have the flavor of conflict that we are like we've been hurt by early in our friendship making or first relationships, so then we have more healthy relationships as we heal. Sometimes it almost feels like, does this person, this healthy love, do they really care and love me? Do they think about me passionately? Or whatever? Am I their best friend in the whole world? And we feel that way because we're so used to this like chaotic, you know, back and forth, up and down dynamic, that when it's not like that, when it's steady, when it's consistent, it can feel like a rejection for some reason. And that's not abnormal. I think, you know, that happens to a lot of people, you know, and it's something we just have to be really conscious of, you know, as we grow, as we really try to obtain the things that we want in life and within our relationships. We have to really see where we have these old sicknesses that we kind of take with us, or beliefs or coping mechanisms or whatever, and try to do our best to overcome those things. Now I also see, and this one's that one that looked like it was dancing, but when I turn it this way, it kind of also looks like a flower. So I want to say, I really feel like you have been blooming, and you know, I would hate to see any kind of any of that really to be kind of messed up by you know, entertaining somebody from the past. That's just, ugh, you know. And look at this. We have this kind of mean face with a little smirk. And I feel like that's just that chaotic energy that comes up sometimes. Sometimes it's like the universe just throws us a few of these people. I don't know why that happens, but it does, right? They just show up one by one. And, you know, I don't know. You just got to keep advocating for yourself, to yourself. Reminding yourself why. Oh, there we go. Just kind of a content face on this side. Yeah, I like that. You know, but also I think that I also think that there's somebody you have, maybe like a good friend who I don't know. I almost feel like you have a good friend who has kind of been through some of these different people with you. Friends and, you know, ex-partners, ex-spouses, whatever. And they've always stayed really loyal to you. And they give you good advice. And I think that sometimes you don't listen to them. You know, which we all kind of ignore people's advice, of course, but I think that, you know, it might be worth heeding their word a little bit more. I think they are somebody who's like kind of like a ride or die for you. They're going to be there with you through thick and thin. They have already proven that. And so, you know, I think that if this reading kind of resonates for you on any level, I think that going and being with your friend, spending some time with them, if, you know, these impulses of communication with this person kind of come up, I would talk to them about it, because they seem like the voice of reason in your life. And so they're not enchanted by this person at all. The, you know, whatever, the sneaky little devil that's trying to sneak back in. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the Indigo Sage affirmation cards. These are the air deck. We just got done with the fire. And I'm going to go ahead and just kind of stop right here. That's pretty. I like this one a lot. I like the blues, the indigo. Okay, it says miracle, self-healer. Trust that every unwanted condition can be returned to natural well-being. Okay. Now, we were talking about not feeling well. We're talking about going to the doctor. You can go to the doctor and still be a self-healer. You can follow medical advice and still, you know, be assisting the healing process. I never advocate, I do not advocate ignoring modern medicine, okay? You know, everything that we have, and I'm a firm believer in kind of pantheism, I guess, but that all things come of the divine universe. So, man-made, new, old, whatever, all of it has its place. All of it's kind of woven together. Do not rely on one thing, okay? But be open-minded to, you know, receiving the blessings of modern science, definitely. You know, and I don't want to lecture anybody, but I also want you to know that, you know, just like you talk about therapy and counseling and recovery and, you know, all of these things that they all can go together. There's no separation of anything. Everything is everything. So let's use everything that is at our disposal, especially when it comes to not feeling well, mind, body, or soul, right? Okay. So I want to go ahead and thank you so much for spending this time with me. Oh, I feel like I sound so burnt out. I've been swimming a lot and it's very hot here, so I feel like my brain's a little crispy, but I'm gonna get a good night's sleep and drink lots of fluids. And And I think I'll be back to my full self tomorrow. And so, if you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm. The algorithm is what decides what happens with these videos, with the channel. Yeah, the algorithm has been kind because we just hit 17K right before I started this. That came pretty fast. I'm surprised. And I'm pleasantly surprised, I should say. And I have to thank every single one of you. Each of you is so important to this journey, to this community. And so any kind of engagement really makes the algorithm happy. Liking the video, watching the readings from the beginning to the end. What else? Sharing the videos on other social media platforms. It really likes that one, I guess. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. I would love for you to come back and watch some other videos, see what your other placements are up to, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, Venus, right? Is Venus still in retrograde? I don't know, probably. And you can do some cross-watching as well. But when you subscribe, hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the videos are coming out. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, I read every single one of them. And I do reply back to all of them. So it maybe takes me a day or two to get back. Just depending on what's going on. And yeah, I think that's it. It's time for me to go to bed. All right. I want to thank you, Taurus. We will talk again in just a couple days.